Hey, everybody.
Hi.
We are back finally. And today we have a very special guest for you. But first, I am Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And we are the Chicks in Charge. And we are so excited that you're here with us today. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Brooke Furniss to the stage here. Hey, Brooke, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing freaking fantastic. I'm so excited right now. And that music, man, I'm like all jumping around back here in the green room. I'm so excited right now.
Dance party.
Yeah, I love dance parties.
All right.
How are you today? It's today's
awesome.
Thursday. I think it's Friday automatically. I don't know why.
It's some day that ends in Y. That's all I know. I don't know, man. You're asking hard questions.
I know. It's what a year it's been though. It feels like, we have all just made some amazing progress in this industry this year. The collaborations, the friendships. What do you think has been the biggest game changer for you this year?
Man, that's a loaded question. You're coming in hot with the first questions here. I mean, seriously, like no softballs. Let's just get right into this. Holy shnikes, man. I don't even know what to think. We were talking a little bit offline here about these questions. I go, well, if it's based on the podcast versus the business, it's a little bit different. I know with the show of the podcast, the number one theme that's just been reoccurring over and over again is based on leadership, culture. And that has just been and I love the fact that that's been a reoccurring thing over and over again. When it comes to the business side of my Business BZ Consultants group, it's been, all right, Brooke, we need help holding people accountable. And when I say people, it's not just the people portion of it. Well, that is important, yes, but it's going to be, all right, we've got this pain point right now. I'm not really sure if whether it's an ad agency, whether it's I'm going to say vendor. I really don't like that word, but we'll say a third party, whether it's the OEM, whatever the business is out there. We're like, hey, I just don't know if this money that I'm spending, if I'm getting the true ROI back on it. And a lot of times it's a lot of feelings, which you all know, I'm not really big on the feelings portion of it. So, hey, I feel a certain way about something, but is it factual? Hey, I feel this mailer did really well. Well, did the mailer really do well? Or you just told your entire staff, we did this awesome mailer. Everyone look out for the mailer. So then everyone's looking out for it. But did you do the same thing on your TV commercial or the digital, whatever you just did? So looking at the metrics and diving in and taking all the feelings out of it and looking at, okay, this is doing well. Hey, your ad agency did a really, really good job on this. The copy looks great. It landed on the right page. Oh, but it's the process in houses where you fell short. And you don't want to hear that, but I'm going to call your baby ugly. So those are the, from one side, from the podcast, and then from the consulting standpoint, are those pain points that I'm seeing a lot right now, especially when you're seeing a writer strike. Also another strike, but not in our area, is the auto strike of going on, of just saying, hey, things are starting to tighten up a little bit. So where can we dive in and maybe look at that a little bit deeper?
Right.
And that was a loaded question, but you did good.
Yes,
you did good. I didn't prep you at all for that. So but it is a very big topic when we talk about, people wanting to discuss leadership and culture, because things have shifted so much in our industry with especially mindset. Yep. We talk all the time about the pandemic and how it affected our industry, inventory, the high grosses, and then coming out of that and people having to relearn how to do their jobs, especially if they weren't in the industry pre-COVID. Yep. And they're like, what is this? What, I have to work to sell a car? People don't just come in and want one? Like, what is this? So there's a whole different shift that has to happen. And if you don't have the right leadership behind the wheel, you're going to lose people.
It stops at the top, or starts at the top down.
Mm-hmm.
It funnels all the way down. If there's any type of crack, that water is going to find it. And you see that so often, is that whether it's, oh, you know what, we're okay not to, whether what we talked about, the high grosses. And I've told the story a couple of times that the first time I went in to get my manicure for the first time, and it was, I was a little nervous, not gonna lie. I was like, hey, it's the first time during the pandemic, and I knew I was gonna pay more. Heck, we all knew that bread costs more, bacon costs more. Mm-hmm. My Jordans, everything costs more, so I knew I was gonna spend more. But this is a place I went to a lot, so I was already loyal to them. The first thing I go on, they're like, hey, Brooke, we're just letting you know our prices have increased. Here's why, here's what we're doing. And they took the time to explain it. So now I look at this in our industry as like, hey, prices are increasing. Profit is not a dirty word. It's how we go about explaining things to our clients. So profit increased. Now, obviously prices are coming down. The same thing. Now we have a strike going on. our price is going to increase again. What are we doing to explain this to our clients? Hey, here's what you can expect throughout the process. Time is so valuable. Did you know if you go and fill this out online and go through this process, it's going to save you so much time. You're like going to spend an hour in the store. Holy shnikes, are you kidding me? I don't have to spend 4 hours back there anymore. Oh, thank you so much. Like little things like that. I can joke about that, but it makes such a difference. And starting from the top, as you said, and working all the way down, man, that just makes such a difference to invest in your freaking people. Please invest in your people.
Yes. Well, and it even leads into what you do on the consulting side, because when you're truly invested in your people and their success, you have to make sure that everything you do within the store is translated to them. All of your marketing efforts, all of where you're spending your money to drive traffic into the store is properly translated to them. You know, when you're running a sales event, when you're doing a buyback, when you're doing anything, making sure that they know what's going on out there. So when a customer comes in and says, hey, I got this, they're not clueless. Right. And that they know how to properly handle that customer and treat them with the highest level of care. And it's a seamless transition.
Well, I mean, we see it all the time as the BDC, where customers are calling us saying the salespeople say that you don't even work at the store. Mm-hmm. And how horrible of an experience must that be for those customers?
Yeah. Who am I talking to?
Who are you? If they put a mailer into the store and your salespeople don't have any idea what they're handing them for this for.
That's the joys. Like I have a client that they are working with an outside BDC, and it has just been. It's been a rough go. And that before anyone ever, and you all know that obviously I love you all. Anytime someone says, and I love the first time I ever met Robin, I was working in a dealership. She came in and said, all right, why are you guys even looking to go with an outside BDC? Like, what is the reason? Like, why would you ever even think to go? You can go right down to your BDC right there versus going outside. And she like drilled it into the owner, the GM, and said like, why the hell would you ever do this? Like, what is the reason for this? And she made it very clear, like, to have that conversation beforehand versus just like, okay, it's a paycheck and okay, now you're just a number. And to go through that, because it's so true, to have that conversation, because there has to be that process in place before you ever that. Even if you're in-house BDCs, outsourcing it, there are so many things on that process standpoint, because it's people, process, and product. And if you any point you add a product and you haven't talked to your people about your process, your product is going to fail 100% of the time. Exactly. And so going back to what you said about the BDC portion of it, how many times do we have marketing or advertising or bring out a product or put a stupid button on our website and don't have any communication about anything to anyone? And you're like, oh, wait, we have something new widget on our website. Or we just brought in a new product, didn't tell anybody about it. Right. Someone's calling in. You're like, oh, yeah. Oh, wait, hold up. What the hell is this? We didn't tell anybody. And then you're stuck in BDC land and you're like, hold up. We have a new price on something. We have new incentives on something. We just dropped $20,000 on an advertising bullshit, and you have no idea what is going on with it. That is so unfair. Please communicate. Please communicate.
Well, and then the customer is going to get upset because why do you have no idea what I'm talking about? You guys are the ones running this promotion. I'm not going to do business with you. And then money wasted. Yep.
Yes.
Endless cycle. And it all is fixed with communication.
Funny concept.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
You would think so, but it somehow we make it really, really difficult. And yet I see companies do it so well on the other hand, where it's not only are we get rid of these silos, and I love when I worked my very first job in automotive, and I was a consultant for a CRM company, and they made me, I say made because I literally still have PTSD when I hear the phones of this company ring, but we sat in the support table, support room, support whatever, and we had to take the support calls. And I was one of very few that actually logged in and would take support callers. And I was scared the hell out of me. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. But for me, it was so beneficial because now I knew what the support team was going through every time they took a call. And I was like, I don't know. And I literally kept looking around. I was like, help, I don't know what I'm doing. But it literally scared the crap out of me. But it gained so much respect from the entire support team that then they were like, okay, anytime Brooke needs anything, her tickets are getting closed out and her dealers are getting taken care of. And I encourage that whether it's obviously we're in automotive, that service, go sit with parts, sit with service, go over and sit in BDC land, F&I, go sit in service. Sales, do the same thing, because you don't know what is going on. You're just so quick to go and blame other people that it's their fault. When in fact, have you actually tried to order any parts and understand how insanely difficult that is? Yeah. But you're going to go and blame them for it, and vice versa. F&I, you're going to go and blame service when does that warranty even push over to the back end? Because communication from the software probably doesn't even talk. So understanding how the other side works is so critical, but instead we just silo everything.
Yeah. No, I think that one of the most important things that a dealer can ever do is cross-train their people so that you can have that understanding across the store. I think every manager in a dealership should be cross-trained. They should have to train for at least a week in every department, so that, for one, they have no barriers when it comes to talking with all of those managers if an issue arises, but also so that they do know when an issue arises that they may be able to help before just having to go run and, oh, hold on, I got to go get you an answer somewhere else. But I have some experience here. Let me critical think this.
Yes. And the mutual respect for all parties, then it helps everyone. It's going to elevate your dealership immensely.
Yeah. What would you say you're seeing the most right now? I think that we're going through another change again. With how everything is going, we're experiencing, and I will tell you 100%. What would you say right now you're hearing the most from dealers on the consulting side, that, you know, what's their red flags that they're trying to solve, and how are you helping combat that?
Trying to solve, man. I am, for me personally, what is leading me to drinking is freaking GA4. Google Analytics 4. Now, is that going to impact how someone sells a vehicle? Yes and no, but there's so much just gobbledygook out there, and a lot of people are freaking out about it. And it's just, if you go back, I think the original GA, Google Analytics UA3, Google Analytics 3, however you want to phrase it, that was like, 2010, I think is when it came out. And it took about a year for it to normalize. And with Google Analytics 4, you're seeing the same thing where it is a hot mess. And so you're seeing that, I go on and do something that's not there. And then obviously there's the Automotive Standards Council, which I'm a part of, a founding member. And so you're everyone trying to reach across the aisle to try to standardize things. But Google just breaks. It's like they're literally building a plane as it's taking off. And so trying to say, okay, is this firing correctly? Is this firing incorrectly? Okay, this doesn't work. You go into Google and it's just, oh, wait, it's not working again because Google is a toddler and throwing a tantrum. So to me, that has been like so much of my time trying to go into accounts and saying, is this set up correctly? And then trying to get the ad agency, trying to get getting everybody to come through and say, please, for the love, this needs to be set up correctly. That has been so much of my time trying to go through it. But then if you're using, like, I partner with a product agnostic tool, and it obviously is bringing in a Google API. Well, that's broken because Google's broken. So that makes reporting so difficult to know, okay, well, this is coming in and I need to report on this, but now to try to get an actual report that has actionable insight makes it so much more difficult, because I got to go to 16 different pages to find it. Makes it really, really difficult to see that. So to report back on things that I would normally report back on takes probably 10 times the amount of time that it would normally take. So yeah, from an inventory standpoint, yes, that's a part. You've got the strike going on. That's a part of it. And how you go about, there's so much talk about buzzword bingos, whether it's a CDP, whether it's GA4, whether it's AI. There's so much talk about AI. There's all these talks, but at the end of the day, you've got to start somewhere to track all that. I can go down a rabbit hole on all of these, but that's right now, the big one is GA4. All the other stuff is, you got to have a measuring point somewhere.
So tell us a little bit about what BZ Consultants does. What do you do? What are you offering dealerships right now?
Yeah, so BZ Consultants Group, the whole reason I started the company was I sat about every chair there's to sit in the industry, and I just said, hey, the dealer needs to have more of a voice and a product agnostic voice. So I started the company, and we are just that, been called a lot of things. Some things I will not say on the air, but more importantly is that whether it's a digital auditor or almost a toddler again there, a digital auditor, a fractional CMO, but we go into dealerships and say, all right, this business is doing really, really great. This one's not. Let's see how we can get them to help improve. And even if you're doing great, there's always room for improvement. So, hey, here's all this gobbledygook, whether it's a report, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's service sales, whatever it may be, social, BDC, all of that. Here's the actionable takeaways from all this gobbledygook. You want to focus and get back to selling cars. You want to get back to service. You want to get back to whatever it is. Here's what all it means. Here's da-da-da-da. Here's where you're spending money. You could probably spend it better over here versus over here. For instance, I love the ones that are like, hey, we need to spend more money on this model. Really? Because the majority of your traffic is going into organic. So why are you spending it on paid? Yeah, on the same on the fixed side, it's amazing to me how many people are not looking at your service pages and how, are you getting traction there? Because if you're not tracking tire sales, that's a big problem. And then the same thing with the BDC, like looking at all that to see how your BDC traffic is funneling and how the engagement it does on that. So just breaking that down from an auditing standpoint to see how everything is doing. And I really do not care who someone uses. I just want to know, is it engaging? Is it working? And is it profitable for the dealership?
Right. Well, and it takes all people involved reporting correctly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Everybody has to be on the same page.
Yes.
That's
yes.
I would say the most extreme part of working with so many dealerships, like we both have the pleasure of doing, is every dealer does it differently.
Yep.
And they all report differently, and they all utilize their CRM differently, that you then log into the next one and you're like, oh wait, this one isn't even close to the same as the last one I was logged into, and gotta remember they do it this way, not that way. And
oh yeah.
Yes.
Fun.
And as you know, so many don't even track, they'll track from a BDC standpoint, they're tracking internet leads, but so few don't track floor traffic. Right. And you'll ask them, they're like, wait, what's floor traffic? I'm like, probably the stuff that you make up and say that it's a drive-by and it was a newspaper sale. Yeah, newspaper. Yeah, I'm sure it was a newspaper. It was a billboard. No, it wasn't. Nice try. Yeah, the ones you're closing at 50%, those are the ones with the floor traffic. So having that come into a product agnostic view and saying, okay, what really was that? Or everyone wants to claim, I have this cartoon that I show that's shockingly, it's about shoes. I know, shocker. And it was, I saw the shoe commercial on my phone. Then I saw the shoe commercial on a billboard. Then I saw the shoe commercial on a TV. And then as I'm driving to go buy the shoes, I heard it on the radio. And then the salesperson says, all right, how'd you hear about it? Oh, I heard it on the radio. They're like, oh, and then the board meeting, we need to, you heard it on radio, so we need to invest everything on radio. Well, no, radio is not what drove the customer to buy it. Yep. Everything played a part in it. So being able to see holistically in a mixed media modeling to see how everything drove that traffic is so important. The CRM is only going to show that last point of how the customer got there. You need something to show every part of it. And that's a lot of times where those third-party providers get such a bad rap. They're like, oh, well, they're only driving this amount of leads. Well, leads are only a portion of what is driving that. So if you're not looking to say, all right, so Auto Trader, Cars.com, whatever third-party provider you're using, are you only looking at leads? Then you're only seeing a very small portion of what that traffic is driving. And when you decide to cancel or bring on, you're missing the picture, because they're driving traffic to your website, which is driving third-party traffic. There's driving third-party views. It's driving so much other traffic that then when it gets to the site, are they engaging with your chat? Are they engaging with a call? Are they engaging with a finance application? You don't see that. And you need to be tracking that stuff. And that is 100% stuff I'm looking at. Or you leave it, whether it's third party or an ad agency, if you don't look at to see, all right, is it priced? Do we have photos? From a social standpoint, because I know you guys do an awesome job of social. If you have a social ad agency, and you're saying, all right, social provider, ad agency, go just do a kick-ass, do an awesome job with it. But in-house, we're not going to do anything. Yeah. Why are you leaving your provider out to dry? Like, that is such a big no-no. Or we're just not going to respond to reviews. What are you doing? Like things like that.
It is setting your provider up for failure.
Yes.
If you are not going to incorporate anything inside of the store to help benefit yourself as well.
Oh, amen.
Exactly.
Man,
that was fire.
Amen. Yeah, drives me bonkers. It's never ending cycle. But so often we just think that if we just pay for everything, we'll just take care of it. No, you can only buy your way out of a problem for so long. Like the organic stuff. When you look at I'll say like a Brian Ortega, or you look at Nathaniel Greklick, the reason their social is so amazing and why they're getting the astronomical views that they're getting, it's because they're organic. They continue to hit and hit and hit and hit, and they're hitting They're not hitting their customers. They're hitting the customers in the right place, at the right time, with the right message. They know where their customers are, and they've done enough research to know this is where we need to be, and whatever platform it is, they know what the message is. But it's like, even like something is what may sound silly as a thumbnail. That thumbnail, I know for me, that thumbnail may look the same, but whatever the verbiage on it is going to be different for every single platform. It's got to be different. Right. And you've got to look at those metrics to say, okay, where is it going to be? Because your TikTok following versus your YouTube following versus whatever. And if you're not doing shorts, the whole world is shorts. And the shorts that were 6 months ago versus a year ago, that attention span is now, instead of 60 seconds, like what I think right now is like 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. People have no attention span. So you've got to be working on those. Consistency. Just don't leave it up to your ad agency and then blame them when it fails, when you're not holding up your end of the bargain.
Right. Yeah. Well, and analyze your audience too, because your audience across platforms is going to be entirely different. Don't assume your entire social audience is all, females that are between the ages of 25 and 34.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy. I don't know. I don't know if you guys heard me say this or not, but I was going through looking at a client, and I go, hey, just so you all are aware, obviously English is your first language on social. Get that. I go, take a guess what your second language is. And they're like, I don't know. They're like, I think our second language is probably Chinese. I go, no, it's Spanish. And they're like, oh, okay. I go, do you have any Spanish speakers in your dealership? No. I go, okay, you probably want to get that. I go, so just so you're also aware is that your number one liked, the gender-wise, is female. But your reach is going to be male. So the number one gender that is liking your page is female. Mm-hmm. Why are you guys going after males? Just out of curiosity. Well, I don't know. That's up to your ad agency. Okay, that's a problem. I go, next question is, how many females do you have? If I walk into your showroom right now, do I see a single female anywhere? And do I see anybody that looks like me? Do I see anyone that from a Hispanic, Latina, anywhere? No, Brooke, you don't. Like, okay, you guys might want, just throwing it out there, you might want to invest in that a little bit. Yeah. They're like, we're working on it. I go, okay. I mean, things like that, like looking into say, if I can see that people are interacting this way, these are things you really want to pay attention to, because if I can see that they're constantly interacting with that, and that's who my audience is, man, dive into that, because if you don't, you're losing customers. You're 100% losing customers.
Yeah. Because they'll tell you what they want. It's up to you to listen.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have stores all the time that will ask us if we have bilingual BDRs, and because they have a heavy Spanish population in their area with not one bilingual sales rep in the store. Yeah. I mean, how is that going to work? So then they have to bring a translator with them, which is great. But in a lot of stores, your translator also has to be above the age of 18.
Yes. So
then that poses a problem.
Yes. Or I love the ones that their website's in Spanish, but there's not a Spanish speaker.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, what? What are you doing?
Yes.
Or they have one Spanish speaker and then that person leaves, and it's like they just took all the Spanish-speaking customer base with them too.
They're like, hold on, look at my phone. Google Translate. What was that? Hold on. 1 second.
Yeah, it's we're still, I think a lot of us are still in a one-track mind, and we just think of directly what's in front of us, and sometimes we've just got to remember to get out of that and remember to look at the data and remember to get in the back end. And so many dealers I think they just don't know how.
I do too. I don't think that they know how. I think that they don't know how, and I don't think that they have the time to do it, which is why people like Brooke are here, and they have agencies like BZ, and they are able to do that thing, and why they're here to help our dealerships, because they do need it.
I think so. I would concur with that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, it's so important, especially when we're looking at what we do on both sides, on the social media agency side and on the BDC side. If a dealer is only, I mean, we've run into it so many times this year where dealers have fallen into the funnel of not doing any of their own marketing, and all they do is spend money on third parties, and then they want to know why they can't convert leads at 15%.
We have heard it so much this year.
And they want to blame us, and I'm like, my guys, you're not marketing yourselves at all. You have no digital marketing going at all. No SEO, no SEM, nothing. You're literally only getting third-party leads. That's it.
Yeah. Or you look at it and they're like, oh, well, we are marketing. Well, bless you, Gesundheit. It didn't work. So close, so close. Or I was just having this conversation with Jordan Cox that you look and say, well, look, I am marketing, Brooke. I'm like, great. What is your and I know the answer before I ask this. I'm like, great. What does your marketing look like? We do whatever the OEM tells us. I go, so great. You're literally just copying and pasting whatever the OEM says. And we've done myself. I've done this. A couple other people have done this. We just copied and we literally took screenshots of every OEM that did whatever the OEM told them. And it's verbatim, exactly the same copy. It's the same ad copy, the same everything. I go, so awesome. So there's nothing different between you and the next 10 competitors in the next 20-mile radius of what you all. So there's nothing different. It's a lease special. That's it. Lease special, or it might be a service special, but it's some type of special, which is not special at all. At all.
Get it anywhere.
Right.
And Google is telling you, is giving you the big middle finger because all you've done is copy content and it's exactly the same. Instead, last I checked, you do have people in your store. I know we're in an AI world. They're not robots yet, to my understanding. You have people there. So why not ask them, hey, what is it you love about our dealership? Mm-hmm. Hey, Brooke, you love shoes. Why not do something about shoes? Have a Kicks Friday. Do something about your store. Work with your community. Do something. And then, by the way, oh yeah, we do have cars here. But do something that's not about your, not stupid OEMs. But if you're just copying what the OEM says, I'm not going to go and look at something and be like, oh man, they're just shoving lease specials down my throat, so I'm going to keep following them. No, that's not why I follow anything I follow on Instagram or insert whatever. That's not why I follow them. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, and that's especially when we look at a social strategy.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, when you think, okay, so say that your social strategy works, a person is following your Facebook page and you've converted them into a customer. They're still following your Facebook page, but yeah, you just keep posting cars for sale and sold customers.
What if they've already bought a car?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What if they just bought a car 2 days ago?
They buy a car from you. Why should they keep following you if all you're posting is more cars for sale and more sold customers?
And that's what we see all the time. Sold, inventory special, sold, inventory. And we're just like, what about something to engage your audience? Yeah. Tie yourself into the community. Give your community a reason to do business with you, not your OEM, not your brand. Who are you as a store? Who works inside of your store? What is your culture? And why should your customers do business with you? Not Ford, not Kia, not Nissan, not Chrysler.
Well, and let's be honest, the OEM isn't doing much for these franchise stores anyways, because you have to separate yourself from the next guy 10 miles down the road.
Yep. Yeah. And I've been to those dealerships where it's not only the OEM saying you have to do this, and it's let's be honest, I no longer work for them, so I can say this, it is I have to do this thing or else. Let's be honest. Yeah. Is that when you go in there and you look at it, I'm very analytical, as you both know, is that any of those URLs are not UTM tagged. So you have no idea once that gets in there. Let's say that, okay, it happens to be, it's actually pretty looking, Brooke. That's great. Customer clicks on it. You have no idea what the hell happens with that because it's not tagged correctly. So the OEM is pushing that you have to do this. It's all copy and paste. There's no distinguishing you from any of the competitors. And it's not only you can't tag it, it's always going to be, it's like the same thing when you're watching, whether you have cable TV or streaming or anything like that, everything's always going to come back from a tier 1 level saying, oh, your nearest ABC OEM, your nearest Nissan dealer, your nearest BMW or your Chicagoland dealer, whatever, but it's never going to say, oh, go shop at ABC Motors. It's never going to say that because it's always, they're protecting the OEM. That's also from a paid search area, is that you're never going to outbid the OEM. You're always going to fight the OEM. Now, is the OEM bad? No, I'm not saying the OEM's bad. Just understand what you're working with. And that's why it's so important from an organic standpoint that you set yourself apart from everybody else. So when I go and say, someone's like, oh, well, who's doing a great job? I'm like, here's 10 dealers right off the bat that I know their social presence is incredible. And it's because they personalize it. They know that, hey, this person, if you are in this, you are using some type of CDP, which is a customer data platform, they can see, hey, Brooke, she's 90-day out. So I know that how I'm going to interact with her is way, way different from Brooke, from John, who's, hey, he's 10 days away versus Jess, who's maybe 45 days. All these are different. You can, instead of having 1 or 2 campaigns going out, now you have 50 campaigns going out. Way, way, way different. And that's how it should be, to continually interact. But on your organic stand, that CDP is that's obviously paid, but from an organic stand, constantly mix it up. Once again, go and ask your people, what is it you like to follow? Who do you like following? Okay, Brooke, you obviously are a sneakerhead. Go partner with the local sneaker shop. Hey, Jess, you love XYZ. Hey, we know you guys are big with the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, great. Go see if there's something local Kansas City Chiefs shop, or go to something football wise. Like, get to know your people and understand what is important to them, and let them go work with the community. I cannot stress enough how important community is.
Yes. And it's something that is so missed. I mean, we probably talked about it on half of our shows.
Yeah.
That it's so underserved. The dealers that are doing it are making such an impact on their, not just their bottom line, but in their communities.
And we see it every single day.
Yeah, because they are investing in, I don't even want to use the word community now, but their neighbors, their friends, their families, and the families of the families, and the friends of the friends. And it's always going to come back around.
Yep.
Yes. And I will say that as well, is that I definitely see people that will try to do this, and when it doesn't hit, or, okay, we're just going to give up.
It's not an overnight success. It's not something that you just do one time and you get great karma from it. It's something that you have to remain consistent at.
Yeah.
No. And stay authentic to you. Like, if we were talking about this as well, Jordan and I were talking about this, that if you preach that you, and please for love, stop saying family dealership. Like, Walmart's a family dealership, family owned, operated. So stop saying family owned. Yeah. But if you're going to claim family owned and you're going to die on that hill, okay, good luck with that. But if you're going to preach that and claim that you're like, oh, we are so happy and go lucky, and you get into the store and you've got a bunch of like just angry people, great job. You're no longer authentic. So find your niche, whatever that may be, and stay authentic to you. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to stay authentic, whatever that may be. I mean, here in Chicago, we're obviously pizza, and right now horrible sports teams, because our sports teams suck, and hot dogs. Like, people know how Chicago dogs, right? And there's a Chicago hot dog area, and they're known for just being incredibly rude to people. Like, and people love to go in there and just get the crap beat out of them, not literally, but like be verbally accosted. Now, if all of a sudden they start being nice to people, people are like, whoa, hold up, what's going on here? So know what your lane is and stay true to it. No, don't be mean to people, but that's kind of like their thing. Like, people are like, so, but know what it is. Know what your lane is.
I agree.
Yeah. No, and it's funny that to go back to the family thing, like, okay, every single person who's ever started a dealership was obviously a member of a family at some point. So really, is that unique?
Yeah, it drives me bonkers. And right now, everybody, like Lithia, I mean, every big group right now is being gobbled up by family-owned dealerships. Once again, Walmart is family-owned. It's Sam Moulton. He's family-owned. Like, so if you really want to go down that route, just stop saying family-owned. And realistically, do families get fired? No, I'd probably like to fire some of my family, but no, they're a team. Yeah. Teammates, you can fire and trade teammates, but you can't fire your family. You don't trade your family. And honestly, the way that I've seen certain people get treated, you don't treat your family like that. But at the end of the day, you don't fire them.
Right.
Stop saying it.
I like that.
I do too.
Drives me crazy.
It's true though. Like even the biggest groups, they're all still preaching. I mean, I think about, and we've worked with them directly, but the Morgan Group down in Florida, that's their biggest thing, that like they're the #1 family owned and operated group. And
are they?
Yeah. People love saying it. They love saying it. But also when people start saying that too, that's also for me, that raises a red flag. Any company, like, doesn't matter if it's Automotive in general. I'm like, okay, so if you're saying you're family owned, what do I have to do to become family? Because if I piss you off, then I'm no longer family. I'm kicked out of the family.
Right.
Like, that's to me, the minute I hear that, and there are some really great companies out there that they claim that and they're really good at it. But for the most part, the minute I hear that, I'm like, and there's the red flag. Yeah. It's almost immediately I just see red flag. Yeah. That's just me personally.
See, and I'm on the opposite side of it. Like I don't mention that I got family in the business. Like it's
Yep.
only recently, and it's because it's coming to the point where I can no longer hide it
Yeah.
because we're becoming so popular that we are more open to talk about it. But for 5-6 years, we didn't tell anybody.
So
And
she used to get mad.
Oh, very mad.
Like mad, would not speak to anybody if they mentioned it.
Yeah. And so like people who know us know that in public, it's not,
We don't talk about it.
Robin's not your mom. It's Robin and Shasta. And you know,
Yep.
we don't talk about it because it's like the instant people find out, you're immediately treated differently. So
Yep.
I prefer to not take that route.
And see, I'm the same way. Like if I would be very similar to, I have we have a good friend, and the son actually goes by a different name specifically for that reason. He goes, I don't want anybody to ever think that I got this job because of my dad.
Yeah.
I don't want the same thing. And so he honestly goes by a different name specifically for that reason.
That's
and
smart.
It's not the first or second time I've heard this, that they just go, we don't want anybody ever to think that we're, you know, silver spoon, that we got this because of our daddy, we're PhD. So no, I agree with you. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
It's sad that it has to be that way, but we've seen so many that sadly did take that route and got it for that reason and didn't earn it. And so, you know, it's seeing those people that make us to this point where, you know, where we won't share a last name or won't tell people that we're related, and, you know, we'll earn our respect by working for it.
Right.
Well, I think as a female as well, like even me, like, so Chris, we've been together for a while now, obviously. And he's been in the industry, 30 plus years probably. And most people know him, but I go obviously by Furniss. And there's reasons for that. One, people know my name, but two, it's like, there was a job for which I was interviewing, and he had worked with the owner back when they both started in the industry. They both had worked together. And I made a specific point to make sure that was not brought up until I got the job, specifically for the fact I'm like, this has got to be on my merit that I get the job. And then once I got the job, he's like, oh, wait, I know Chris. I was like, I know you know him. Like, but I made sure, but the same reason is, like, especially as a female, it's like, you got to make sure that you get it on your own accord and all that. So I 100% agree with you.
Yep. Yeah. But here we are. 3 chicks killing it.
There we are.
Yeah, buddy.
So I want you to before we get off of here, tell people about the panel you're leading at.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man! I think we're calling it the April All Stars like 2.0. There is there's a ton of people on this panel, and if I tried to list them, I'd have to take a nap because there's a lot of them. I think there's like 28 people. It's on October 18th at 1 p.m. And yeah, there's I don't even know how many different topics are being covered. Let's just say it's a smorgasbord. So if you have any questions about technology, optimization of your business operations at your dealership, myself and Colby and Jared Kilway are specifically leading up the AI portion. But there's AI, there's fixed ops, there's BDC, literally choose a topic and we're covering it. But I'll just leave it at that because there's so many topics that are being covered.
Do you think there's going to be enough time to actually get to everything?
Yeah. So the way that we did it in Tampa, it's more or less, we get up there for like 5 minutes and introduce ourselves, maybe 5 minutes. And then it's round table. So everyone sits at a table and then everyone goes, okay, which table, where do you want to sit? And then Lori Halter is the one that's the moderator, and she'll be like, okay, you have 10 minutes to talk, or it might be 10 minutes to talk. And then after 10 minutes, all right, do you want to stay at that table or do you want to move? Okay, I want to stay, or I want to move. Boom. And then everyone moves. Okay. And then after 10 minutes, and then move. So that's, and it seemed to be pretty successful last time. There's just, I want to say in Tampa, we had maybe 12 people, and now we have 20. But it's a mix of dealers and vendors. We've got people from Cox Automotive, obviously myself, but it's a slew of people. I mean, yeah,
that is huge. That's super exciting. So Brooke, where can people reach you at if they have questions about BZ or your Facts Not Feelings podcast? Where is the best place for them to reach you?
Man, pretty much anywhere. I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, anywhere, or you can call me directly. You can email me. My cell phone's 208-244-2300. No, I know when you're watching this, there's no way you're writing that down. Find me on LinkedIn. That's just LinkedIn. I'm there. It's / I think it's Brooke Furniss, or it might be Brooke C. Furniss is one of the two. I honestly don't remember. But everything's on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. Absolutely. Yeah, LinkedIn I think is probably the biggest there. Or you can just go to the website, YouTube, anywhere. So
Everywhere.
That's yeah.
Google Brooke Furniss, and you'll find her.
Yeah, pretty much just put my name into Google, your little Google machine, and you'll find me.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, awesome. This has been so exciting. We thank you for coming on. And I hate that it took so long for us to get you, because you were supposed to be one of our very first guests, but then we got so slammed and busy and had to put it off for a couple of months. So
no, it's all good. I love seeing you guys crush it, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, without further ado, and I forgot it. In a world where you can be anything,
be kind.
Be kind. So whenever you go out into the world this week, remember to light it up. I'm Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And this is Brooke. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.